the types of relationships, dealing with how to deal with the many-to-many relationship. In real life scenario, many-to-many relationship is very much common. First of all, we will see what exactly many-to-many relationship and how we can deal with the many-to-many relationship. And also after after I cover the cardinality part, right? So I will explain you all this one also. The next one is we will see what is active and inactive relationship, and what is cross filter direction, and what is automatic tables, date tables, and what are the approaches or the alternatives that you can use it to create date tables manually. One second, let me just. First of all, what is a relationship? That's what we discussed in the last session. Relationship is nothing but filtering the data when it comes to Power BI, right? So we use relationship to filter the data. And even in the case of RDBMS, as part of SQL training, we discussed about the primary key and foreign key. We create the primary key to uniquely identify an instance or a record in a table. So in this table, employee table, employee ID is the unique primary key. In the department table, department number is the primary key. In the employee table, also we are using department number. In the case of employee table, the department number column is a foreign key column. So this is because the values for this department number is coming outside, coming from the other table, and this is foreign key. If I wanted to select employee, if I want to show or display employee name, the department name, and salary, in order to display these three columns, I need to join these two tables because the department name is available in this table. So how do I join these two tables? So I need to check, in the both the tables, if the department number column is available or not. Yes, in both the table, we have the department number column is available. Maybe here they would have mentioned the different name for the department number, probably department ID. But here they would have mentioned depart number, NO. Okay, that doesn't mean these two columns are different. Only the name of the column is different, but the business meaning is same, right? So department number, department ID, both of them are same only. But in this table, they mentioned department ID. But so now, fortunately, both the tables column for the department number, right? It is same. So department number. So using the primary key and foreign key relationship, we can join these two tables to get the department name from this table. You understood? So in order to create the relationship, so you need to create the relationship to get the data from more than one table. So in this case, we are dealing with only two tables. Let's say if you have another table, right? So even for that table, if you want to, let's say your project table is there. So if you wanted to, to find out, the project name for the employees, which project the currently the employee is working on it, right? So you need to have the project number here, project number, and the corresponding project number from the project table. You need to join it. Only then you can filter the data correctly. So as part of data modeling, the relationship is very much important. Okay, we need to make sure that we are creating or linking the correct columns between the tables. In Power BI, we will be linking likewise, right, the line. So we link these two tables using department number. Supposing we have project number, we need to link this table with the project table's project number column. You need to make sure that you are linking the correct column between the tables in order to do the proper filtering or correct filtering. Okay, only then it can filter the relevant or appropriate data from the other tables. Because in real life scenario, we are using more than two tables. So in that case, we have to get the data from multiple tables. In order to get that, we need to make sure that you are linking the tables with the correct columns. Hope it is very clear. Next, what are the types of relationships? What are the types of relationships that are available? When it comes to RDBMS or relation database, or even in the case of data modeling, these are the types of relationships that are available: one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many relationship. What is one-to-one? Can someone give me an example? One-to-one, the classic example is one person or a citizen, and you are an Indian citizen, right? So each citizen should have only one Aadhaar number. In the case of USA, each citizen should have only one social security number. There should not be any duplicates. A single person cannot have more than one social security number, or in USA. The same is applicable in India also. And similarly, a single person cannot have more than one salary account. You are working for a company. Let's assume that a person is in India. You are working for only one company. You cannot work for more than one company. Okay, so that is one-to-one. But nowadays, a person can work for more than one company also. The classic example is this is the one. If you think, or if you have any other example, why don't you tell me? Right. So, for example, let's say each employee has their own office. One employee can have only one office because he is working for only one company. Morning, let's say morning 9 to evening 8 p.m. He works for only one company, and each office is only occupied by, you just think that way, right? So let's say in your company, you have a separate office for you, right? So you have a separate office for you inside your office. Each employee can have, or let's say each manager, project managers are given separate cubicle in an office. Each project manager, so individual cubicle. Each cubicle is only occupied by one employee. This is another example for one-to-one relationship. But in real life scenario, one-to-one relationship, you don't see it in many of the cases. Okay, most of the time you find one-to-many relationship, many-to-one relationship, or many-to-many relationship. Next, we will see what is one-to-many relationship. An employee, single employee, can work on more than one project. Let's say you are working for a software company. So you are supposed to work on two different projects. 50% you are built in one project. In another project, you are built for 50%. Okay, a single employee can work more than one project. That is what called as many-to-one relationship. Sorry, one-to-many relationship. Okay. And another example is, let's say you are a car manufacturer. As a manufacturer, you can produce more than one car. A single manufacturer can produce more than one car. Also, let's say you are a customer. A customer, you order more than one item. A single customer, let's say you are Vijay Kant is ordering more than one products. He is ordering more than one product in an e-commerce site. And let's say you are a manufacturer. Okay, you are producing more than one items or products. This is the example for, these are the examples for one-to-many relationship. So here one is only one person, one employee can work on many projects. A single manufacturer can produce many cars. Hence we call this a one-to-many relationship. Next one is many-to-many, many-to-one relationship. That is an opposite of this one, many-to-one relationship. In this case, many employees can work on single project. Let's say we have something like a supply chain analytics project. In that project, many employees are working on it. Many employee in the sense, right, more than one employee. Not necessarily 100 employees. So more than one employee, we call this a many. Many employees can work on a single project. Many items ordered in a single order. Okay, so these are the example for many-to-one relationship. The next one is many-to-many relationship. Many-to-many relationship occurs when multiple records in a table are related with multiple records in another table. An employee can work on, many employees can work on a single project. Similarly, in multiple projects, more than one employees are working. You understood? So here, the many side will be there in the many side is there on the right side. In this case, the many table is located on the left side, but in this case, in both sides we have many tables. Single employee can work on more than one project. Each project can have more than one employee. Okay, so this is a many-to-many relationship. See, in real life scenario, we cannot add a many-to-many relationship to a database. We cannot add a many-to-many relationship to a database because it breaks the normalization rules. Rules. So to address this, we create something called joining table. Okay, in the interview, they'll ask you why you need to have a joining table. It is also called as a bridge table. Okay, I just write it here. It is also called as a bridge table. Bridge table or joining table. In the last session, we discussed about factless fact table. In the case of star schema, we call this as a factless fact table. Factless fact table. So why it is called factless fact table? First of all, what is a fact? Fact is nothing but the numeric value. In the fact table, we have the combination of all the dimension tables, key columns. Along with that, we store the measures like number of units sold, numeric values, and total sales, gross sales, net margin, COGS, cost of goods sold. These are numeric values. Facts are nothing but the numeric values. In the fact table, we store the numeric values along with the dimension key columns. But when it comes to the factless fact table, as the name says, you don't store the fact, numeric values. Instead, you store something like this, bridge table. Because if you want to fact table itself a transaction table, many table, right? If you have two fact table, assume that this is a fact table, this is a fact table. These two fact tables are many table. In that case, you need to use a bridge table. The bridge table or joining table, when it comes to star schema, we call it a factless fact table. Now the question is, why should I use the bridge table? We use this bridge table or the joining table to capture every instance of employee and project. Okay, see here you have employee table, but here you have the details of all the projects. In this table, the project ID column is the primary key, whereas in this table, the employee ID is the primary key. Okay, supposing you have the primary key as 10 for John, and you have another primary key value as this is Robert. You have another guy, Mike. For each employee, you have to store only one record. For each employee, you have to store only one record. Similarly, for each project, you need to store only one record in this table. For example, I say SCA, Supply Chain Analytics Project. The name of the project is Supply Chain Analytics. And similarly, you have Retail Analytics. And here you have the project name. And similarly, Omni-channel Retail Analytics. These three projects are there. For each project, you need to use the unique value because this is the primary key column. The project, this is primary project ID. This column is your project ID. And this column is your project name. Got it? This column is your project ID. This is your project name. And this is the employee ID. This is the employee name. If I ask you, or let's say if your manager is asking you, can I know how many number of projects John is working currently? Can you give me a list of the total number of projects worked by each and every employee? Each employee can work on more than one project, and each project can have more than one employee. So in that case, how will you get the information? So the only option is in this table, right? This is your employee ID table, sorry, employee table. This is your employee ID. Okay, employee ID. This is employee name. Only way out is like I showed you in the employee department table. You can store the project ID here, right? You can store the project ID like department number. You remember in the employee table, we stored the department number. So here you can store the project ID in order to extract the project name from this table. But here, the employee John is working on more than one project. Let's say he is working on SCA, Supply Chain Analytics, and also he is working on Omni-Channel Retail Analytics project. But here, this guy Robert is working on SCA, Supply Chain Analytics, and Retail Analytics project also. If you look at the startup company, the employees will be working on more than one project because they cannot afford recruiting more employees. Similarly, Mike is also working on retail analytics and supply chain analytics, something like that. Okay, but in this table, the primary key column is project ID. Okay, you in order to create the relationship between these two tables, you created a column called project ID. But in this case, each employees are working on more than one project. But you cannot specify more than one value in the project ID column. If you specify like this, how can you join these two tables? Because whatever value you have it, that value only should be available here. Here I have SCA, but here you have different values are there. More than one value is there. In that case, we cannot say these two columns are common columns. Though the column names are same between the two tables, the values are not same. The value should also be same between these two tables for this column. It is not same. And also, as per the normalization rule, we have something called normalization rule, RDBMS. In RDBMS, we have something called normalization rule. As per the normalization rule, as plus the normalization or the first normal form rule, first normal form rule, first normal form rule, each column should have atomic value. Atomic value in the sense you should have only single value. You cannot have something like this. Okay, you can have space, John, Mariam, Joseph, something like that. But you cannot have John, comma, Joseph, comma, something like that. Okay, you cannot have more than one value. This is against the normalization rule. Okay, so hence what we do is to address this issue. What is the other alternative in order to deal with this? You cannot have more than one value, but here you have SCA. Either we can have only one project ID here, but John is working on more than one project. So the other alternative is you can create another column here to hold for another project, but that is also not the right solution. Or else what you can do is you can add one more record for John. So 10 John SCM, because as per the first normalization rule, first normalization form rule, you cannot have more than one value. Hence what you do is 10 John SCA project. In the next row, 10 John another project, or the Omni-Channel Retail Analytics project. But if you add one more row for John, so it is violating the primary key rule. How do we store this many-to-many relationship related data? That is where the bridge table is playing a crucial role. So here what I do is I store employee ID and project ID together. So here I just say emp ID and project ID together. So here, for example, John is working on SCA. And the same employee, John, is working on omni-channel retail analytics project. And the employee Robert, right? So he is also working on SCA, something like that. Okay. Here you can have duplicate because this is the foreign key. And even this in the bridge table. So I call this as a employee project, EMP project table. Project. It is something like combining these two tables. Okay. The combining these two tables, primary key values. But in this table, employee ID and project ID are primary key. But when it comes to the bridge table, employee project, this is the values, whatever you store it in employee ID in this table. This column is foreign key to this table, and the project ID in this table is foreign key to this table. Got it? So now, if anybody is asking you, okay, so now there exists a one-to-many relationship between these two tables. So here you have only one record for each employee. For John, you have one. So you forget to remove this one. Okay, this is not going to work out. This is not the right approach. Hence, I'm going to strike it out. So now you have only two columns. So John, I put it John here. So John is working in SCA. In the next row, I put 10 here again. Foreign key column can have more than one value, right? Duplicate values. Okay, and here the another project, second project which is working on it, right? That's what I mentioned it here. And similarly, Robert is working on SCA, and again the Robert is working on another retail analytics project. Fine. So this is called your bridge table. With this, see here you have two one-to-many. You have one-to-many, and here also one-to-many relationship. With two one-to-many tables, you can store many-to-many relationship related data. In the interview, they will ask you first of all, what is many-to-many relationship? That means multiple records in a table are related with multiple records in another table. In real life scenario, most of the time we come up with these kind of scenarios. Okay, these kind of we will land up with these kind of situations. In that kind of situations, we store the data in bridge table. The bridge table will hold the left side table. On the left side tables, primary key, the employee tables primary key. Here in this case, the employee ID is a foreign key, and in this case, right, the project ID is the foreign key to this table. This is how we address the many-to-many relationship. Hope it is clear, right? You have any questions? Okay, since you don't have any questions, what I do is I just 1 second. I just save this because in today's session we will uploading the file takes longer time. If I have multiple smaller chunks, it will be very easier. So the next what we will do is we will head back to the Power BI tool, and where we will load all the tables. We have a couple of files. We will load it there, and then we will create the relationship. In Power BI, when you load more than one file, it automatically detect the relationship between the tables. You don't have to create the relationship between the tables explicitly. But sometimes Power BI's auto detect feature, which is nothing but automatically detecting the relationship between tables, is not always working well. Okay. So in that case, we need to set the relationship manually. What we will do is we are going to disable the auto detect, the default auto detect option, and we will load the data files, and then we will set up the relationship manually. And also we will create the date table manually. And finally, we will set up the relationship between all the tables. Okay. There are two ways you can create the relationship. You can drag and drop the common columns between the two tables, right? So, and then other option is you have a manage relationship button, using which also you can set up the relationship between two tables. Now I'll just give you a demo in Power BI. See, these are the two tables I already loaded here. Okay. So what I did, in your case, if you want to do it side by side. Just open the Power BI and click on options and settings. Go to options, or you better watch it because the load time is bit slow. You watch it and then practice it later. So the next one is what you do, you just select data load. Here what you do is auto detect new relationships after data is loaded. You need to disable it and then click OK here. Okay, click OK here. Fine. The next step is what you do is see initially, okay, when I loaded, so I created this explicitly. Okay, I will do everything from the scratch. Okay, for you people to understand, I just remove everything. I will do it everything from the scratch. Okay, here I go to get data. Now let us load all the data files one after another. So I have something called big box order file. I just select this one. Okay, data is available. Load it. So the next one is sales data. All these files are available in GitHub. Now there is no line between these two tables. Okay, because I have disabled the auto detect feature. Look here, if I select, if I go to the options, in the options you will find data load option. You need to select this, select that auto load option. Okay, in the data load, you will find something new. Detect. One second. Here, one second. You select this one, data load, and here auto detect feature. This one I disabled earlier. It by default it was active. It was in active state. Now I made it inactive, and I clicked it OK, and then I loaded it. Since I did not enable that auto detect feature, it is not creating the relationship between these two tables. Okay, don't worry. You just watch what I do. So I have customer data here. I just select this one. Yes, I have data in it. Everything is so good. I just load it. Next, I have for my project, I have close to 6 to 7 files are there. I'm going to select something like regions data. Load it. So whatever the files that I load it here with the same name, you can find it in GitHub. Anyhow, I'll resend the GitHub files, GitHub location. Okay, the URL. I'll send it to you all. Can go and download all these files from there, and also watch my video and pass it wherever you need to. You get stuck, right? You pass my video and then practice it side by side. Regions data got loaded. You need to scroll across to see the table. Sometimes it will be hidden, but don't think that file was not loaded. It got loaded successfully here. So on the right side in the fields pane also you can see that it got loaded, and I'm going to load some more files. Here I have something called stockist data file. If let's say if somebody says sales, definitely product related data should also be loaded. The product related data are stored in separate table. Look here, the customer data are stored in a separate table, and the region data are stored in a separate table, a separate file, and the sales data are stored in a separate file. I just load it here. So for these tables, the customer data and region, for each region, only one record will be there in this table. Similarly, for each customer, only one record will be there in this table. For example, Lavanya. If you open this file, you will find only one record will be stored for Lavanya. Similarly, Chinnaya or Sai and Vijayakant, for each customer, only one record will be stored here. Whereas whatever the orders that were made by each people will be stored in this one. Let's say Sai ordered 4 times or 10 times, right? So 10 records will be there, 10 order related, not 10 records, 10 orders related data will be stored in this file. Similarly, Vijay and others. Okay, fine. So since these tables hold only one record for each instance or for each product, each region, each customer, we call it a dimension table. Okay. The stock is, stock is, they are the distributors. Okay. Now what we do is, let us import the date file also. In my case, the date is available in a separate file itself. We don't have to create the date manually. The data is available in date dimension related data is available in separate file. It's already available. Hence, it makes your life easier. Otherwise, you need to manually, you have to create a table like this. In the case of our data model, you need to have date dimension. So especially in star schema, snowflake schema, you have to have a date table separately. This date table will have the date column, and also you will have year, month, day, weekday, those kind of informations it will have in it. I just, because this is a transaction, I call this a transaction file because it has multiple records for each customer, or for multiple product, multiple records will be there. I call this a transaction. These are called your lookup tables, or sometimes they call this a lookup table, or some people they call this a dimension table, and some people they call this a transaction table. But when it comes to data warehousing or business intelligence, we call these master table or lookup table as a dimension table. Okay, and this is my fact table. Only one transaction table we have it. Surrounded by this fact table, multiple dimension tables are there. Hence, it is called star schema. Now we loaded all the files that are required for my project. All right. So the next one is, look here. Here, consumer key is there, which is nothing but the consumer data. So how do I create the relationship between these two tables? See here, customer. I have customer. In this table, customer column has the customer name. So here, if I wanted to see in this table, for each customer, how many number of orders, or what in each order, what are the products they ordered it, right? So the detailed data stored here, the transaction data stored here. If I want to see the customer by sales, customer name by sales, you need to join these two tables based on the common key column between these two tables. Like the employee table and department table, we join using the common column department number to extract the department name from the department table. Similarly, to extract the customer name from this table, what you need to do is you need to join these two tables based on the common key column between these two tables. In this case, look here, customer key column. This is the fact table. Ideally, I should call this as a fact table. In this fact table, I have a combination of keys here: order date key, due date key, consumer key, and if you look here, stockist key and date key. Likewise, these key columns are coming from these dimension tables. The fact table is nothing but the combination of the key columns from various dimension table, and the facts like unit price is a numeric value, product cost is a numeric value, discount percentage is also a semi additive measure. Okay, and yeah, so that is what. So now if I have to, for example, if I wanted to see the sales, total sales, we made, right? Or so sales amount is nothing but you just think it is a revenue. So how much revenue we made by customer? I want to know the customer name, but here we don't have the customer name. Only consumer key is there. If I want to get the customer name, I need to join this table with this table using this consumer key. Okay, but here we don't have the consumer key. I just simulated in real time. You might tend to get the data like this. So in that case, what we do is in this case, I know very well. I spoke to my business people and I asked them, what is the consumer for this table's consumer key? What is the corresponding key column name in the consumer's data? Because I need to join these two tables based on that common key column consumer key. But here I don't see consumer key. But here I have customer key, but it is prefixed with some kind of sigma value. Okay, I cannot go by like this. Okay, so what I do is, okay, so I'm not, okay, in my case, I just checked and they said, no, you can use customer ID. Customer ID and consumer key, both of them are same here. But I got confused with customer key. Though my business people, they told me to use the customer ID to join with this table's consumer key. What I do is, I have another option. See, one option is I can directly drag and drop here to create the relationship. Let's wait for some time. It will create a link between these two tables. Look here, it created a link between these two tables. Earlier, there was no link between these. This is called the link. Okay, I'll just, when I keep the cursor here, both the tables, you can see the customer key, customer ID and consumer key. In the bottom table, you can see consumer key. The upper table, you can see customer ID. Both of them got highlighted. If I move this cursor away from this, If I move this cursor, you cannot see the highlighted columns. When I click on this one, it shows you very clearly the which columns that I used it to create the link between these two tables, consumer. But again, I'm not sure whether the customer ID is the common column between these two tables or customer key. So there is another way of creating the relationship between these two tables. Or to validate this, I'm going to double click on this line, the link. Will open a dialog box, something like this. Here on top, you can see the big box sales data. This is many side. The one side is, this is one. Look here. So if you look at here, just on the side of consumer data, you can see one. On the side of big box sales data, you can see star. That means many, one to many. Each customer can have more than one order. That is what it says. Here I am just checking, okay, the customer ID and consumer key. I just created a link. Whether the link is correctly created or not, just by looking at the data also you can decide. Look here, this is my customer ID and consumer. So no, it is wrong, right? So here AW00 something is there, but whereas here the customer key is -1. It's not an alphanumeric value. What is alphanumeric value? Combination of text. AW is a text and number. These are called alphanumeric. So I suspect it is not a customer. I should not have used customer ID to join or link these two tables. I'm going to select this one. Now what I do is I create the relationship between these two tables. Now I want to verify whether the relationship got created correctly or not, or whether the link got created correctly between these two tables or not. How do I check that? If you keep the cursor here, customer key on the consumer's data and the consumer key on the big box sales data, both of them got highlighted. That means, okay, the relationship got created correctly between these two tables. Similarly, now you tell me, how do I create the relationship? Which column should I use it to create the relationship between these two tables? Can you all type it in the chat window? How do I create or link these two tables? Which column should I use in this table to link with this table? So here I should have, it will be confusing for you guys. Since I know very well territory key, I should use territory key to link this table with this table. Here I have region column. That's where you should understand the data also very clearly. As a data analyst, you should know which column is for what purpose. Okay, which column is for what purpose. So here region column holds the region or the sales territory key value in it. As a business person and data analyst, or as a data analyst, I know this business very well. As soon as I see this table, I can make out, hey, this column is holding the sales territory key in it. Hence, I need to drag and drop this table's stock, not stock, is the territory key. In this table, the territory key is nothing but the region key. It will have only the key in it, like employee ID, right? So this is the key. But with the key itself, you cannot make out the region name. In order to find out the region name, you need to create a link between these two tables using the common column between these two tables. In this case, the common column, here the sales territory key is there, but here territory key column name is not there. But still, since I know the business very well, the region column holds very well. Sorry, the region column holds the territory key. Hence, I created the relationship between these two tables. To check this relationship, whether the relationship got created with the correct column between these two tables, keep the cursor on this link. Yes. Okay. To verify this, double click on this. It will open up the dialog box. You can see where is the territory key. So here sales territory key, but here also I made a mistake here, right? So here actually it is the text value, but it is a numeric value. So somehow I forgot it. So this is not though I know the business, I somehow forgot it. So this is not the common key column between these two tables. In the case of big box sales data, sales territory key, I use it, and the regions data table, I need to link this one with this one. Hence, I selected this one. I deselected this one by clicking it one more time. Or if you click it here, it will get deselected automatically. sales region number and sales territory key. These two columns are common between these two tables. Now I click OK. The relationship got created. So you might be asking, do I have to drag and drop? You don't have to drag and drop. What you do is you just you go to the another way of creating the relation between these two tables is, see, one way of creating the relationship between these two the tables are like, you can drag and drop the columns, but you should be very clear which column is the common column between these two tables, which all columns are common between these two tables, right? So you need to, if you are very clear, so let's say I have the sales territory key column available here. Here also sales territory key column name is available. Hence I can drag and drop it. Right? So in this case, let us say I have stockist data. What I do is I just select this one. 1 second. I just select this one, and where is this manage relationship? We have icon called manage relationship. So what I do is here big sales data is there already. You can verify that. So what are the relationships so far we created? Look here. So when you click on the manage relationship, what are the relationship you created it so far? You can see it here. This is another way of verifying the relationship, whether you have correctly created the relationship between these two tables, whether you have used the correct columns to link these two columns, right? These tables, right? These tables, you have used the correct columns with these tables, correct columns, right? So big box sales data, consumer key, I've used it. So for this, the many side and the consumer table, consumer data table, I use customer key to link these two, consumer key and customer key. These two columns got linked. Okay, and it's pretty correct. The next one is in the region table, the sales region number, I used it to link with sales territory key column in my fact table, which is nothing but big box sales data. Now what I do is, instead of dragging and dropping it, I click on the new button here. Now it opened a dialog box, sales data. So I need to first select this one. Second, I need to select the consumer data and region data. Already I create the relationship. Next, I select the stockist data. Here, I just check manually what are the common column between these two. So stockist key is the dimension key column here in this table. In this table, what is the corresponding stockist number? These two columns are common between these two tables. Got it? So you must be asking why not stockist ID? Because the value itself different. It is a text value. AW is a text and then number. This is not the correct thing. Okay. And stockist number as 56, but here also numeric value. Here also numeric value. But you need to check with your business people. Can I use this column in this table? Stockist number column. Can I use it to link up with stockist key column? If they say yes, you need to use stockist number column in this table to connect or link with this table stockist key. Since I already, I already discussed with my business people and they said, hey, use stockist number column from this table. In this table, stockist key, use it, right? So create the relationship between these two columns or create a link between these two columns. Look here, currently there is no line between these two columns, stockist and. So now what I do is, this is another way of creating the relationship. Look here. Here at the bottom, you see cardinality. The sales data is the many table and the stock is our one table, distributor, right? So only one distributors will be there in this table. So hence it is many to one. So in here, cross filter direction, single, click OK. It will get added here. Okay. And to cross verify this here, you can just, okay, what I do is I just click close here. Look here, automatically the link got, I did not do drag and drop manually. I just opened the manager relationship. So there are two ways of creating the relationship. Just drag and drop the column between the dimension table and the fact table. Okay, but when you drag and drop the column from the dimension table to fact table, you should know what is the which column you should use it to link up with which column here. Here you can see easily the stock is data. Here stock is key is here. Okay, something start with stockist. Okay, this is the key. We don't have any other column with start with stockist here. Okay, hence you can make out easily. Okay, this is related to stockist table, but here we have stockist key. But here we don't see any stockist key column. Right. So what I did, I just opened this one manually, and also they said right the stockist number in this table you need to use to link up with this table stockist key. Got it? That's how I did it. So what I do for the time being, I just click on collapse because I created the relationship correctly with these three tables to view everything in a single page. I just collapse this one. Next, all the tables should be connected, linked up here. But this table is yet to be linked up with this table. So what I do is here the date column is the one second date column. Okay, let me do one thing. If you are not sure, just select on manage relationship, and using which we can create the relationship. Click new. This is my sales data. You need to select the sales data, and here you need to select the date data. This is the only table we are able to create the relationship. When you look at this, what I want to do is order date key. So where is the order date key here? This is my order date key. Okay, in this one, look here, the date ID. Date ID in this table is matching this value somehow. Okay, and also my business people, they told me very clearly, you need to use date ID from this table. Date ID column, you need to use this from this table. And also in this table, use order date key to link up these two tables. Okay, so I'm going to select date ID. Now it is a many to one. So this is a many side, this is a one side, because in this table you need to store the dates. You should not have duplicate dates in here. Okay, it should be unique. Okay, so that's how the data got stored in this table. Okay, hence I was able to create the relationship. It is a many to one relationship. Cross filter direction is single. Don't worry, I'll explain all these things later. See, coordinate is nothing but relationship. One to one, one to many, many to one. In this case, it's a many to one. I'm going to click close here. Look here, it will take some time to draw, create a link between these two tables. Wait for some time. Look here, automatically it created a link between these two tables. We are done with this. I'm going to click close. So in total, we have 5 tables. All these tables got linked up with this table. When you look at now, we have one more table, order data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this one. I just check here. Here, I just check, are there any column that is somewhat similar to this one? Sales order line key is there. And here I have sales order line key is there. Okay. And also we have, okay. So we can use these two columns to link up. But before that, since the naming convention is not same, the common column naming convention is not same. So what I do is I just click on manage the relationship. I'll click new here. I'm going to select sales data and here order data. This for each order, only one record will be there in this table. Hence, it is a one-sided table. This is a many-side table. Here, I'm going to check manually which values are matching. See here, your channel and sales order. This is alphanumeric. This is also numeric. But the order line key, both of them are matching. And it is a one-to-one relationship. Look here, in this case, it's a one-to-one relationship. Cross filter direction, by default, it is both. Let it be there. I'm going to click on OK here and close. We have created the relationship between the dimensions. I call this also as a dimension table. So this is a fact table. This fact table is surrounded by dimension tables. You have the date dimension, all the other dimensions. This fact table is, I'll just drag and I'll put it here. I just move this. Probably you can select everything by holding the control key or something like that. Sorry. You can hold the control key, press the control key and select all the tables together. Now you can move all the tables. See here. Okay, I'll just move this one. Okay, it is not going beyond this. It's not moving here. So what I do is I just click on this one to get a clear view. I just move this. Now what I do is I just keep this somewhere here. Okay. When you look at this now, all these tables side, if you see 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 is there. When you look here, right, so for the on the sales data side, you can see star, 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 but here 1 is there. That means all these tables are having one-to-many relationship with this table. The dimension key or the dimension tables values are flowing down to fact table. Here also one-to-one relationship. Okay, fine. Now we have created the relationship. Good. You can try the same way in your system by downloading all these files. All these files are available in my GitHub link. Okay. You can practice it. This is how you can create the relationship between tables. But before you create the relationship between these tables, you should be knowing which tables are dimension tables, which table is a fact table or transaction table. Okay, you should be knowing that. How will you know? You can talk to the customer and find out from them, but it's a simple common sense. Customer data, when you see customer data, okay, it's a dimension table. Product, where is product? Product, I did not import it. Let us import product table also. Now you understood, right? In real-time scenario, we'll be using multiple dimension tables. More than one fact tables also will be using it. I'm going to select this one. Okay, all the products are there here. I just click on load. As I told you, we can create the relationship between the tables in two methods. The method one is drag and drop. But in this case, you should be knowing the common column name between the two tables. Two tables in the sense, the fact table and the dimension table. Fact table and the dimension table. The second one is, second of the method is, we can click on manage relationship icon from the menu, right, from the top menu. Got it. Very simple. Right. So either you can use this one or you can use this one. Even if you use drag and drop, to make sure that the link has been created correctly using the correct column names. For that, better you go and check the relationship, whatever you created using manage relationships icon. When you select this one, it will open a dialog box wherein you can cross verify it. It is always a good practice. Even if you drag and drop the columns between tables to create the relationship, go and cross verify it using manage relationship. That's it. Where is the product table? Product table is not available here. So on the right side, I just scrolled across the right side. I could see that product table. Product table got hidden, right? So you need to scroll across the right side. And now look here. So here I have a product number is there. Look here, I don't see product key here. Ideally, product key should be there. In real-time scenario, they will give you the proper naming convention. Don't worry. But here I can see, I don't see product key here. Product number is there. So here I can see something like product number, right? So with this itself, I can say, hey, these two are the common column between these two tables. With this, we can create the relationship or link between these two tables. So now I'm done with this. So if I keep the cursor here, on both the tables, we can see that product number got highlighted. To verify this, I just, either you can go here, click on the manage relationship, or you can double click on this link itself. It will open the manage relationship dialog box. Very good. So product number correct. It's perfectly create the relationship between these two tables using these two columns. Very good, right? I'm going to click OK. I create, so I'm going to collapse this one. So I just keep this somewhere here. So this table is surrounded by multiple fact tables. It looks like a star, hence we call it star schema. Ideally, the name of this table is supposed to be sales fact table. Okay. So if I want, I can rename it. Okay, you can just select and you can just go here. I think here we don't have option to rename the column of this table. You can go to this report view on in the fields pane, right? Here itself you can do it. In the fields pane, you can rename this table name also. Anyhow, let it be there. I don't want to do any renaming now. Hope you understood how to create the relationship between the dimension tables and fact table. In the real-time scenario, it is not as easy as how you think. Okay, you need to work with the business analyst or the business managers very closely. The customer side business manager or business analyst, you need to work closely with them to identify which all columns that are required in customer table and which all columns that are to be made part of each dimension tables, and the key, right? So which all dimension keys that needs to be used here. All the dimension table dimension key, you can use it here. Along with that, you need to check with them. Are these numerical values or quantitative variables are sufficient? Do I need to include any other measure? It is also called as a fact. It is also called as a measure. Listen very carefully. The numeric values in your fact table is called your facts. Some people, they call it as a measures, okay, or quantitative variable. Okay, apart from this, if they need a net margin, something else, right, you need to add additional columns based on the existing columns values. Okay, fine. It's pretty much about how to create the relationship between the tables. Hope you understood. So in this case, the fact table carries all the transactions. The dimension tables also called as a lookup tables. Okay, so why it is called lookup tables? Because if I want to see, let's I wanted to generate a report using this table. I wanted to find out customer wise, product wise, customer name wise, product name wise, how much sales we made it. In that case, I need to use customer key because this is the common column between these two tables. I need to do a lookup of this customer key column in this table to get the customer name. Similarly, in the case of product data, I need to use which column? The product number on the big box sales data column to do a lookup on this table. You remember I explained you the lookup function in the past session, right? The same way here it works. Okay, but here we are supposed to create the relationship explicitly. When it comes to Power BI, you need to create the relation between them. When it comes to Tableau, you don't have to do the data model design. But one advantage with Power BI is you are learning the data model design also. If you say you are a Power BI developer, you should be knowing the data model design also. This, especially what we have done now, is called as a star schema design. Star schema design. Star schema data model design. Okay, we are done with this. Next, what we will do is we will move on to the slide. So these are the things that we did. We did it everything perfectly fine. The next one is, now you understood what is a lookup table. Lookup tables are nothing but dimension tables, and the transaction tables are nothing but your fact tables. In our case, the big box sales data, that is the one is the fact table. Next one, fact table carries all transactions. Lookup table carries all the filtering information. Yes. Next, we will try to understand something called active versus inactive relationship. What is active and inactive relationship? Only one active relationship exists between two tables, or only one active relationship is allowed at a time between tables. For example, for this table and this table, we created the link. So now the question is, okay, for example, best a classic example is the date table. Here, look here. So which columns we use to link up these two tables? Here on the right side, date ID, we used it to link up with, on the left side, order date key. Supposing I wanted to, here, I have a due date key column is there, another date column. Apart from this, I have ship date keys also there. Three different date key columns are there. If I wanted to find out the total sales, sum of sales by order date, then this relationship is valid. If I wanted to find out sum of sales by ship date sales is different, order date sales is different, right? So in that case, the relationship is supposed to be, for example, if you want to find out the total sales by shipment, ship date key, in that case, this relationship is not sufficient. So I need to create a relationship, one more relationship between sales date key, sorry, ship date key and order this one. So here date ID, right? So date ID and ship date key, I need to create the relationship. I just dragged and dropped it. It will take some time. You have to have patience. Right. It created the relationship, one more relationship. Between these two tables, we can see two relationships. We created the two links. One is date ID with order date key. Other relationship is date ID with ship date key. But if you look at this, the link is not the solid link. It's not a solid line. It is a dotted line. That means this is your inactive. This is called your inactive relationship. This is called your inactive relationship. That means you can create only one active relationship between the tables at a time. You cannot have more than one active table, active relationship. Okay. Got it. So fine. So let it be there. Now you understood what is active and inactive relationship. Only one active relation between two tables are loaded at a time. With DAX calculation, you can convert, or you can transform this inactive relationship to active relationship. Got it? Okay, I will show you with some example. For example, I'm going to select a column chart. Order date key and date ID in your date column got linked up. I just expand the date data column here, sorry, table here. Here you will find something called year. Okay, I don't have, okay, I just drag and drop month here, month wise sales. I want to see it. I just go to the transaction table, which is nothing but the fact table in this case. I just drag and drop sales amount. It is correctly filtering the values. It is correctly filtering the values. So it shows, okay. Okay, okay, this one holds all the things, right? Year, month, it's a hierarchical table, right? So it's hierarchy. It's already the hierarchy got created. So here on top, you can see the drill down option, drill down one level in the hierarchy. So all this, when you see this one, that means it's a hierarchy table. Okay, this data set, we created a hierarchy. We did not create the hierarchy. The by default, Power BI creates the hierarchy for the date column. Fine. The next one is for year wise, it is doing the for different year, different sales amount. If you keep the cursor here, 2.44, 2 million, 4 million, all the values have been done correctly. But now the question is, this is sales amount by year. It is not actually sales amount by year, sales amount by order date. Because we created an active relationship between the date ID and the order date key in the sales order data table. But if I want to see the month wise, same thing. If I copy paste it, I just do the copy paste. Simply select this visual and press Ctrl C and Ctrl V. So now I just copy pasted it. I just select this one. What I do is I just go to the modeling tab. If you want to create a measure or if you want to use DAX functions, DAX, this is an important topic, data analytics expression. Okay, I'm going to use a DAX function to create a measure. Okay, so to create a DAX measure, you create a, or to, if you want to use a DAX function, you need to go to the modeling tab, and here only you can use the DAX function. Remember this. To create a DAX function, you have to go to modeling ribbon, and you need to click either new measure or you can click new table or new column. Okay, with these three options, you can use the DAX functions. But when you go to the, you remember when so let's say if I go to home ribbon, if I select home ribbon, you will find a transform data. When I click on this, it will take you to the Power Query Editor. In Power Query Editor, you cannot use DAX functions. This is a fundamental thing you need to remember. The interview, they'll ask you, in Power Query Editor, let us say I'm using sum of sales. Right? So in that case, you can tell them very clearly, no, in Power Query Editor, you are not supposed to use DAX function. They intentionally ask you this to screen or to understand whether you really worked in Power BI extensively or not. Right? Okay. In the modeling tab, go to modeling ribbon, and here you find new measure, new column, new table. Here only you can use DAX function. So I'm going to create, I just click on the new measure to create a measure. Measure is something like some kind of formulas. You're going to use formulas or something like that. Okay. This looks like a formula bar in Excel, but you need to go to the modeling tab that is where you can create the measure. I just close it because sum is a function, hence you need to make sure that you're using parentheses. Look here, the highlighted one is called your parenthesis. Here also highlighted, right? So when you keep the cursor here, the corresponding the parenthesis this one. Okay, properly it got closed. Okay, sum of sales amount ship sales by ship date. Okay, what I do here is I'm going to use the use relationship. Okay, I'm going to use something called calculate function. Calculate function. Use something called calculate function. So this is my expression, and what I do is here I'm going to say use relationship. So you have something called use relationship, and anyhow, I will show you later. Okay, in this case, sales data, ship date key. Calculate here some of this one, and okay. Column 1 and column name 2. See here, you need to link that with the date ID. Look here. Now there is no error. See here, I intentionally I made this error. Okay, for you to understand, in case you make some mistake like this, you are getting any error. So you look here. Here you can find something like the underline, right? The red colored underline something, red colored line something is there. That means you have made some syntax mistake. What I did, I just passed only one argument. Use relationship is a function, and here, see, it is not. It is showing some error. If I press enter, either you can click tick mark. Once you finish your DAX query here, this is called DAX query. You can click the tick mark here so that it will get executed. Now, or you can press enter. It got executed, but it is throwing an error. What it says is too few arguments were passed to the use relationship function, which means this function requires two arguments. Okay, so in that case, I need to specify which column, which tables date key column should be mapped with which tables date column, right? So date ID, so date underscore data plus date ID. What you do is you click on the tick mark. That means when you click tick mark, that means I have finished writing my DAX query or the script here. Now there is no error. Instead of passing two arguments, if you pass only one argument, it will throw an error. So what does this say? You might be confused. Wait for some time. I'll just explain you what this one is all about a little later. Let's go step by step. Here what I do is I'm going to have this one. Okay, sales. Look here, I just dragged and dropped sales by ship date. So now if you see this here, sales by ship date, here also for 26 and 28, right? Okay, so now this sales amount is nothing but the sales amount by order date. See here, let me do that. I just selected it. Why do I say this is a sales amount by order date? Because of the relationship, active relationship. For example, here in this case, the date ID columns, the solid line is nothing but active relationship. The dotted line is your inactive relationship. But this, so you can create only one active relationship between tables. You cannot have more than one active relationship. But my requirement is my customer or my manager wants to see both sales amount by order ID, order date, and sales amount by ship date. So in that case, I need to create more than one relationship. I create a relationship, but this is an inactive relationship. But if I wanted to activate this inactive active relationship, I have to use relationship function. If I don't use relationship function, it will show only the sales amount by 1 second. I'll just I'll give you the title, meaningful title, so that you will not get confused. Sales amount by year. Okay, I just rename this order date, sales amount. So in this case, it filtered the date ID in my date table, filtered the sales by order date. But I want the date table to filter the sales by ship date, right? In the same visual, I just dragged and dropped it. So what it is, sales by ship date, and this is nothing but sales amount. Okay, this is the one, right? So so now you can compare both here. So sales amount by ship date, sales amount by order date. But if I remove the relationship here, inactive relationship, for example, I'm going to remove it here. So anybody, why can you show that what kind of error will it will throw? Can you do with active relationship? Why? Can you show what kind of error it will throw? That's what I'm showing now. Wait. Active relationship, with that you can show only for the order date, right? You cannot filter it. Wait, I'll just. Look here. To answer to your question, Vijaykanth's question was, why can't we do it with active relationship? With active relationship, because you linked the date ID column from your date table to order date key column in the sales data table. Hence, it does the filtering by order date. It is, look here, you are getting an error here. Something went wrong here. When I click on fix this, it will work, but it shows only it is not showing the sales amount. Look here in the 428,305, right? It is not, see, because we have only active relationship. We removed the inactive relationship. Without DAX, can you do with active relationship? Yeah, if you want to do without DAX, if you want to do, how can you do that? See, look here. You need to have two relationship, right? How will Power BI can understand to filter the date by shipment date as well as the order date key? How will it be doing it? It cannot do it. You need to have one more relationship. So if you have to add one more relationship, the second relationship will be your inactive relationship. Okay, with that only you can do it. See, the prerequisite is, if you want to filter it by ship date key, you need to create one more relationship between these two, because already one relationship exists. Or what you can do is you can remove this, you can create if you remove this, what will happen? You don't have any relationship. What you do is you create a relationship between date ID and ship date key directly. In that case, you have an active relationship between date ID and ship date key. You can filter the sales amount by ship date key, but you cannot filter the you cannot filter the sales amount by order date key. Understood? at a given time, at any point in time, you can have only one active relationship. That is what it says. So now it is not filtering the order date. So now look here. So here these values are now something different. See, I'll just yeah, now it got changed. So this is here 428, here also 428. But this is not the actual, it is not filtered. The sales amount was not filtered by order date key. Now it got filtered by, one second, a ship date key. Okay. It's not highlighting here. Okay, oh, sorry, mistakenly, or it's not order date key. I mistakenly, I just delete and recreate it. Okay, here date ID and ship date key. So active relationship. With this, I created an active relationship. If I keep a cursor here, or date ID and ship date key got linked correctly, and if I go here, so and if you refresh it, so many files are there, hence it takes long time, a while to refresh the entire data. Now we are done. If you look here, I'll just go here. It is working on it. See, look here, it's loading. Okay, it got, now it shows 426. Earlier, it was showing 428 or something like that. Okay, now what I do is I just go here and I create inactive relationship with the order date key, because I'm left with only that option. I cannot create more than one active relationship. Sorry, this date ID. Okay, okay, here date ID, yeah, correct. Date ID and order date key. Okay, now to activate this inactive relationship to active relationship, right? So in order to filter, okay, I'll make it this way. In order to filter the sales amount by order date key, you have to create one more relationship between the date ID and order date key. If you create more than one relationship, in this case, the order date key is the second relationship. We created it. Hence, it is a second relationship. It become a inactive relationship. Okay. If I want to filter the sales amount by order date key, you need to have one more relationship. In this case, it is an inactive relationship. To activate this, you need to use a function called use relationship, as I showed you in the DAX function, right? You can do it. Otherwise, how will you use with one relationship? How we can do it, right? You cannot do it. So now what I do is I'm going to rewrite my DAX function, because in my DAX function, I was using the ship date key I was linking. Now the question is, we created the inactive relationship between those two tables. Then why should I use DAX function? Okay, if you don't use DAX function, one second. The use relationship function, if you don't use it, it will not filter it correctly. Okay, I think that is what your question. One second, where is that? The DAX function. Okay, let me just go here. I think it got. Okay, the measure it's somehow I think I deleted it. Okay, it should be that will not get deleted. She says by. You remember the measure which I created? Says I forgot the. Okay, I'll just show you with another. We'll create one more measure. New measure. Okay, Vijaykanth, correct me if I'm wrong. Your question was, without using relationship, also can't we do that, right? That's what you're saying. Am I correct? Sales by order date. With existing relationship. With existing relationship, you don't have the relationship, right? You have the relationship, active relationship with only when you have the active relationship between two tables. Based on the active relationship only, you can do the filtering. For example, currently, now we have the active relationship between the date table and the sales tables ship date key. This is the active relationship. With this relationship itself, we cannot do filtering for order date as well as shipment date, right? You cannot filter the sales amount by order date and shipment date. Okay, that is the reason why we need. Otherwise, why they keep something like use relationship? We cannot do it with existing sales because of the limitation. There is another option called this one, role playing dimension. Yes, to answer to your question, without using the DAX function, there's another option, role playing dimension. I think you are asking about that. Let's say I'm going to use calculate function, and I'm going to sum of sales amount. I'll show you that one also. The role playing dimension. It's already 5:35. I have a meeting now and use relationship. I thought with this link itself, can't we do that? You are asking from that context. Use relationship, and here sales by order date. Okay, I just do drag and drop here. Look here, it is 1 second here. This is the one, and okay, here for this one, I have used a sales amount. Okay, sales amount by here 2018 426, and here I'm getting 428. Correct. This is for because the difference is subtle. So now you understood. So this is the one is sales amount by order date and sales amount by shipment date. Right. This is these two things. Now to answer to his question without relationship, okay, I just read it out one more time. With the existing relationship, okay, your question is different altogether. Okay, with the existing relationship, can't we do that? You can do it. You have another option called role playing dimension. In the case of role playing dimension, you don't have to create the inactive relationship between these two tables. What you do is you just simply copy paste this dimension to another table. How do I do that? For that, we have another function available in DAX. I just go here and I go to the tables, so table tools, and you need to use something a new table because we are creating the date table. Date table is a table. You cannot use measure. Measure is something like, single thing. Okay. Here you need to use ship ship dimension. Okay. Or in our case, it is order dimension. Okay. Because already we created an active relationship between date ID and shipment key. So now order dimension. Here what it is, you have some all function. In the all function, what you need to do is you need to create what is our date table. So date underscore data is my table name. This is the one is holding the date related or calendar data, right? So date data. You have all function. Inside the all function, you need to specify the your date table name. My date table name is date underscore data. When I press enter, what will happen is the entire table data will get loaded into order dimension variable. What is the role playing dimension? The simple analogy is in our family. Let's say you take for example, let's take ourselves, right? Let's say in my case, I have a father. I have a father. For my kid, I'm the father. But for my kid, I'm a father, right? So for my father, I'm the son. A single person, I'm a single person. Satya is a single person. But when it comes to relationship with the different people, we have a different relationship, right? It's a single person playing multiple role. Similarly, role playing dimension, right? The same analogy is applicable here also. When it comes to role playing dimension, the single dimension will place multiple role. What is the single dimension in our case? The date data. We just copy paste it to another table. Just where is that? The other table. Look here, ordered in. So this is this is just a Xerox copy of my date data table. I just collapse it. Since I cannot create more than one active relationship between the same table, what I do is I just remove this because it's an inactive relationship. So what I can do is I can create this table with order date key. It's not a many to many single, right? Now it got created. Oh, why it is showing many to many? I just copy pasted same thing, right? Name is format. This should only be used if it is expected. Okay, here you need to change many to one. When you selected is not valid for this. Sorry, here. Okay, sorry. Here I did not selected it properly. Order sales data here. It should come here. And here it should be like this. Order name. And here many to many. This should be only used if it is expected. I think some, the data, something went wrong here. Some duplicate values go on here. That's the reason why it is showing something like that. Anyhow, I will just check on this one. So, with the existing relationship itself, we cannot filter two different things. If you filter it, you're not doing so. See, if with the existing relationship itself, if you can filter it everything, then why you need a data model, right? The existing, if you want to do it, if you want to filter it in with the different columns, right? Why you need a data model? Why you need a relationship, right? That's the reason why. No, Vijay, you are wrong. Everything is available. All the videos so far, whatever it is available in our playlist. Okay. Probably you can recheck it. I'm 100% sure everything is available in single playlist. And right. So we'll see. Anyhow, I will also recheck it one more time from my side. All right. Don't worry. So anyhow, I just know it's already late for me. We will continue this session tomorrow. In tomorrow's session, I'll show you the role-playing dimension, right? Now itself I can show you. Otherwise, because of the timing, right? I will continue tomorrow. Right? In the interest of time, right? We will continue tomorrow, same time between 4 to 5. Tomorrow we'll have it. Okay. Any questions? See, playlist, everything is available. Anyhow, let me also recheck it. If anything is missing there, I will try to include it. To my knowledge, I included everything. Okay. Anyhow, I'll recheck it from my side. So in the meanwhile, you can try all this exercise, right? Whatever we did it today, try everything in your spare time, sometime tonight also. Right? Okay, I'm going to save this file, and I can share this file also to you all. I'll share this file to you all. And what you do is you open a new Power BI desktop. You can use this one for reference purpose. Okay. And you load all the files and create the relationship manually. You can use drag and drop and use the manage relationship dialog box to cross verify whether you have created the relationship between the two tables using the correct columns. Right? Okay. So I'm going to wrap up the session now. We will circle back tomorrow same time. All right. Fine. Thanks. Next, what we will do is we will head back to the Power BI tool, and where we will load all the tables. We have a couple of files. We will load it there, and then we will create the relationship. In Power BI, when you load more than one file, it automatically deduct the relationship between the tables. You don't have to create the relationship between the tables explicitly. But sometimes Power BI's auto deduct feature, which is nothing but automatically deducting the relationship between tables, is not always working well. Okay. So in that case, we need to set the relationship manually. What we will do is we are going to disable the auto deduct, the default auto deduct option, and we will load the data files, and then we will set up the relationship manually. And also we will create the date table manually. And finally, we will set up the relationship between all the tables. Okay. There are two ways you can create the relationship. You can drag and drop the common columns between the two tables. Right.